Good morning, everyone. And as you can see from the screen here, we've got Paul Stowers with a new PowerPoint. And oh, wow, a 90-day system for success training. Well, one of the things I love about Avini is it's a vehicle, it's a plan. So if you're thinking, what do I want to do with my life? What is my life's purpose? And probably like a lot of us is we just want to make a difference. And of course, when we think about success and happiness and making a difference, I really believe that all involves other people. And if you can make a positive difference in the lives of other people and looking at Avini as a vehicle to multiply that power to do good with the products and also giving people tools to multiply their power. And it's all tracked with a computer with Avini. And so they track the goodness you're doing in the measure of a check. So it becomes a business opportunity to help other people have a business opportunity and to have a way to make America healthy again. So I'm just really excited about that. So I'll turn it over to you, Paul. And I met a few years ago, and we both are involved in this because we've personally had profound experiences, specifically with Cell Defender. And oh my goodness, I think one of the things that all of us sometime in our life has said, well, if I could believe in something, I could sell it. And that's what we have here is that we can really believe in something, so we want to share it with the people we love. So it's not really selling per se, it's more just sharing something that just naturally comes out of us. And but what if you did it strategically, purposefully all the time? Things might happen, especially teaching that to other people. So, Paul, thanks for being a diamond in this business, a white diamond, my goodness. Let's do this.
Well, Dave, it wouldn't have. I mean, the thing I love about this business is it's a collaborative, cooperative system, right? I mean, all of us have upline that is there to help you and build. And your leadership, Dave, from the very beginning has obviously been very evident, and the many other people. And then, of course, it's just a great team of people that just get a passion for something. And that's kind of my story, Dave, as far as why I'm here for actually coming up on 4 years. The end of this month to be 3 years since we were down in Florida there for the kickoff of Avini, but a year prior, having been introduced to our product we call Cell Defender, just getting passionate about that. And then, of course, having my own life experience with that product and what it did for me, and then seeing how it worked for others. We just, man, it's been an incredible journey. And what I know about the business side, my background in 35 years in both small business, entrepreneurship, ventures, and raising capital and building teams and different network marketing companies and being on the corporate side. One of the things that I try to do is try to simplify the process. And I try to create methodologies where people can plug into the follow the bouncing ball, right? Just do A, B, C, and D, and the results will speak for themselves. And I think that's kind of what I attempted to do with this training, which I do every Sunday night. I do this particular training for just new people that want to plug into a simple system. I'm also I know there's other leaders that have their own systems. And I think the most important thing is that you find a system that works for you. You find something that you can duplicate and replicate, because that's the secret to success, is finding something that everybody can duplicate, everybody can replicate without a lot of knowledge, right? And that's what systems do for people. And so I always say this, it doesn't matter how good or bad the system is. If you follow a system, they always work. Some work better than others, but it's really the simplicity of that. And in network marketing, that's absolute key to success, because I think sometimes we overcomplicate it. We get full of knowledge and we know a lot of things, and then other people see us doing the business and they're like, man, Paul, you're going to be really good at that, but I don't think I could do what you're doing. And if you ever get that in your network marketing business, where people are looking at you as an expert, where, man, you're going to be great at it, but I couldn't do it, then you're going to not have a very big business, because really networking is about simplicity. It's about somebody doing something getting passionate about products or an opportunity, and having a simple system to plug into, where while they're doing their day, right, while they're doing their jobs and their careers and their families and everything else, they can plug into a system that will duplicate and replicate with. And of course, We want to know more and more as time goes on, but that's the beautiful thing that we have with Rick. We don't have to know all about the products, right? We don't have to be the experts. We have the experts. We just have to know how to point people to the experts, right? And so, anyways, that's kind of why I created this system. So I'm just going to jump in and go through it. I'll do my normal presentation. And again, a lot of it's going to be very simple, but at the same time, I hope it's beneficial for the masses here of those that are plugging into the business side. Now, this is all geared towards business building. We don't talk about the products because this is really about replicating a duplicatable system. The first thing I like to point out is the size of the opportunity. I came across this statistic. Dr. Rashid Buttar, who is the vice chairman of the American Board of Medical Toxicology, says that every chronic and insidious disease process is related to one word: toxicity. And in their research a few years ago, they pointed to the fact that it was costing our healthcare system $4.8 trillion. When you think about the scope, I remember back in the telecom days, dating me a little bit, back in the 90s, when we were talking about $100 billion marketplace. Well, today we have a multi-trillion-dollar healthcare cost to humans because of the toxicity in our environment. And that is where Avini comes in with bringing products to the market that directly help people deal with this word toxicity. And when you look at the fact that business is all about problem solution, right? Then basically you have a wealth transfer. So the bigger the problem, the bigger the solution. So Avini is not just bringing solutions for one's physical health, but we're also providing an opportunity to solve one's financial health. And that's the neat part about what we're doing. We take our advertising dollars, instead of doing it through traditional means of billboards, radio, TV, professional actors, we say, look, if you're passionate about these products and you want to help other people, we'll pay you part-time, full-time lifestyle income to go out there and find other customer gatherers for the company. And it's the most equitable, the most efficient way to get a product or service to market. And so again, the size of the problem and then based upon your solution to that, that means that you have a great opportunity. Well, if you got a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity or marketplace and you have solutions for that, guess what? You don't have to get but a small fraction of that to turn it into a large opportunity. Here's the other problem in our marketplaces is when you look at how much it takes the average person to invest to make $1,000 per month. When you look at the fact that if you were getting a 4% yield on, let's say, $300,000 in an annuity or some type of investment vehicle, that you couldn't touch the principal, that would pay you $1,000 per month, right? And if you're fortunate, you might get 5, 6, 7, 8%. You might need a little bit less, but still hundreds of thousands of dollars just to produce $1,000 a month, let alone 2, 3, 5, or 10 or more. Well, here's the real kicker is that this statistic came out a few years ago. 1 in 3 Americans have zero saved for retirement. Okay, 1 in 3. And when you look at the statistics of those that have 300,000 or more, it's only 10 or 12% of the marketplace out there that has 300,000 saved or more. Think about that. That's a big problem in the marketplace when you consider, again, the landscape of opportunity. And so when you consider the fact that we have amazing products with an opportunity that can help people, because how many people would love to have $300,000, $600,000, $1 million or more in savings, producing a yield of 4 to 6% as a passive income? We can show people how to do this in a very efficient manner by just simply sharing these products, right? So this is something I like to point out, because I also think that when we're listening to people out there in the marketplace and we're talking about the acronym FORM, family, occupation, recreation, money, and even we can add the 5th category, health. If you listen to the conversations, people will tell you their pain points, right? They'll tell you, oh man, I'd love to go on vacation next year, but we don't have the time or the money. Man, I'd love to send my kids to college, but we just don't have the money. I don't know what I'm going to do for retirement. Of course, it could be health related, right? And we have a solution for that here with Avini. I love what Warren Buffett says. He says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. This is about building with Avini, it's about building an annuity type payout, a residual type income. If we're all for those that don't understand maybe how residual works or have never experienced it, I think all of us can relate to the world of music and the entertainment world. Well, when you understand what royalties are, I always ask the question, who makes more money, the person who wrote the song or the person who sings the song? Because the person who sings a song only makes money when they sing that song. But the person who wrote the song gets paid while they're sleeping whenever that song comes on the radio or wherever it's played. And that's residual income. And we have that opportunity here at Avini to show you how to meet this need in the marketplace. I also like to point out before we get started in our system is what are people's options out there, Dave? I mean, when you think about this for a second, if you started, so maybe you're working a job and you're like, you know what, I need extra income. So let me start a traditional business. I'm going to take my life savings and I'm going to invest it in this business and either start it part-time or full-time and have a ton of exposure to a lot of risk. That small startup's going to actually succeed. And most people aren't willing to take the risk. And even if they did, a large percentage do not survive after 2 years. I remember a gentleman, I used to love the Blimpies sub shops. And I remember a gentleman had just taken his life savings that I met who opened up the new Blimpies there in near where I live. And he took his life savings. He had worked at a place called Steelcase, a big furniture manufacturer here in town. And we'd get to know each other. I'd come in every week in his new location and get a sub and we talk. But you know what, Dave, and this guy was 25 years at his job, saving up so that he always had a desire to start his own business. And do you know that business was not there a year later? This gentleman went out of business. He lost his life savings. So very few people are willing to take those kind of risks, let alone have the time to do it. Of course, if you have investments, stocks, crypto, REIT, other types of investments, the catch-22 there is that it takes money to make money. And most people struggle, as we already showed you. That's not really an option. And then, of course, the last option for the masses to make extra income is get a second job. And that's assuming your full-time job doesn't consume your day and your week and your month. And it's something that you could find a second job that would fit your schedule and make an extra $15, $20 an hour, working 10, 20 hours a week. So most people don't have a good solutions to make up for the lack of paycheck because they run out of paycheck before they run out of month. And yet, what do people do? And this is what we can bring to the marketplace with Avini. I like this statement here that Zig says, you are free to choose what to do, but your choices you make today will determine what you have, be, and do tomorrow in the tomorrow of your life. And so people have to, when you think about how fast 3 years, Dave, or 5 years or 10 years goes by in planning for retirement and, okay, what are we going to do? That time goes by quickly. And when you have an opportunity like Avini Health that's poised for growth, we're 3 years old, debt-free, vertically integrated, have our own manufacturing facility, have products that are not on trial, have leadership that's not on trial, compensation that's not on trial, and the next 3, 5, 10 years are going to be our growth years, you're in a position to work very part-time if you plug into a system and in a very short period of time, start building a residual income, an asset that can support your need for extra income that most people have. So this is really what we're here today to talk about, but I like to lay that foundation before I get into this. I also like this statement here. It says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, but rather fall to the level of your systems. I'm going to say that again. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You rather fall to the level of your systems. And if you think about this for a second, we're not saying don't have goals, don't have dreams, but if you don't have a good system to plug into, more than likely you'll fall to that level of success or no success if you don't have something that you can follow. And so our system, the little system that I've created, is really a 90-day system. Okay, so what I've learned in the industry is I've learned that people tend to ask 3 common questions that we want to answer for them. And number one is, how do I get my money back? If someone joins and buys an activation pack for $299 or $499 or $999, the first question, and of course, they're getting an amazing value for that activation pack, but the main question that if they're doing it as a business is, how do I get that back? And if we can answer that question and show them how to do that, then they're going to have quick and good success. And then that right there is the crux of a lot of business challenges, because in traditional business where you're outlaying 10,000, 50,000, hundreds of thousands or more, you don't tend to see your money back in your first month, your first week, your first day, right? It takes a couple of years, if you're fortunate, to get your money back, and then you start turning profit. Well, the second question people ask is, how do I pay for my product? Right? So if there's a monthly cost of operation, in our case, when you're doing this as a business, your minimal personal volume requirement to be commission qualified is $100 a month or more. Well, obviously you're still hopefully going to want to buy the products, but from a business side of things, how do I make that $100 or $200 a month to cover my monthly requirements? Okay, we're going to show people how to do that in 90 days. And then lastly, and I think the big question here, after you answer those two questions, is how do I make an extra $1,000 a month or even $500 per month? An extra $10,000 to $12,000 per year would change a lot of lives. Now, I'm going to show the masses how to achieve this in 90 days, and I'm going to show you the mechanics of it, and then we'll talk briefly about the basics of what to do and how to fill in the blanks we're going to talk about. But if you're a networker who's experienced, if you want to make lifestyle income or do this as a full-time job, then the thing here is help a bunch of people do this. Master the duplication of helping the masses get what they want. It's been said that if you want to live as other people would love to live, then help a bunch of people get out of life what they want. You'll live the dream. You'll live a life of dreams. And the more people you help achieve this basic process here, how do I get my money back? How do I pay for my product? How do I earn an extra $10,000 to $12,000 per year, or even five or half of that just to supplement my income? Then you can write off in the sunset if you help 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people do this or more. And that's the beautiful thing about our compensation plan. Now, the other thing I know about compensation plans is that although we have a one-page compensation plan, David, if you've never been involved in network marketing or direct sales, this can look kind of confusing. And even if you've been in the network marketing world for a while, it takes a little bit to understand. It's actually very simple when you understand all the headers of achievements and qualifiers and volume and payouts. But when you've got a brand new person involved, what I've learned is that if you can show them a system that if they plug into this system that will automatically produce the results and they get paid, even if they don't understand all the ins and outs of the compensation plan, then they're excited, right? Because I just need to show them how to get what they want. And then I like to say this, they learn while they earn, right? A lot of times we want to learn everything first and then we can start earning. But if you want quick duplication, then the system allows you to not have to understand how it works. You just follow it and everything else takes care of itself. So here's the deal. And again, we're not against goals and dreams and all that kind of stuff. You need to have that. But the difference between a goal and a goal can be thought of as an aim or a desired result that we want to achieve, like the bullseye, right? I want to make $1,000 a month. I want to make a goal of $5,000 a month. I want to produce lifestyle income. I want to travel more. I want to do this and have those dreams and goals. Okay, that's like the bullseye. But the system, on the other hand, is the bow and arrow and the repeated practice required to achieve your goals. So yes, you should have goals and desires, but without a system, it is more challenging to achieve that. So here's the system, and these are the basic things somebody has to do in their first 30 days. Now, we're going to start off, if I was talking to a new distributor and they're ready to make a decision to buy an activation pack. This is that point. We've already got them to this point to where they're ready to make a decision. And now they're deciding what activation packs the most sense. The question that you're going to ask them is, Dave, I know you're interested in getting on these products and sharing them with your family and friends or just using them. But let me ask you this question. If I could show you, Dave, how to get that money back that you're going to spend on this activation pack and then show you how to pay for your monthly products every month, and Dave, help guide you to in a business plan that could yield an extra $500 to $1,000 a month or more, and we could show you how to do that in the next 90 days, is that something you'd be interested in? I think a lot of us miss the opportunity of just qualifying somebody at the moment of decision. So this is at the point where they're ready to buy an activation pack, and you just simply ask the question. Now, if Dave says, "No, Paul, I just want to buy the products. I just want to get them at best price right now." Hey, no problem, Dave. Down the road, you always have that as an option. But there's a lot of people that if you could show them how to help them with their pain point of needing extra income, doing something that they love, sharing products that can change lives, I think we miss a lot of times by just simply not asking that question. I'm qualifying that new distributor. And then so with the assumption that Dave says, well, man, Paul, that would be awesome if I could do that. Then now I'm going to tell Dave, okay, Dave, we have a 90-day plan of action that we want to help you get started. And if I can make a recommendation, Dave, I would recommend that if budget permits, you choose the $9.99 pack of product. And here's why. Dave, you're going to take these products for yourself, correct? Do you plan on sharing any of these products with your immediate family, whether it be a spouse or kids? Okay. You also are doing this as a business, and you really want to have a little bit of extra product that you might want to retail or share with some other people. So the best way to get started, Dave, if you can afford to do this, is $9.99. If I can make that recommendation that I want to launch you successfully. Now, if Dave says I really just don't have that kind of extra income, well, the next best launch point is $4.99. And the most important thing is that we get them started. So if we need to launch them at $2.99, that's okay too. The neat part about our company is that it doesn't matter which package you buy, everybody has the same business opportunity. However, that $9.99 pack has, I think it's almost $900 in extra product that you're going to get, that because it's a one-time purchase, as well as the fact if you're doing it for a business, I don't know whether you're in real estate or insurance or any other type of traditional business, $1,000 to start a business is pretty inexpensive. I know Adrian Francis, he has a gym over in the UK. It cost him a little bit more than $1,000 to start that gym. So it's a very inexpensive business when you look at it from that perspective. And we want to help people get started in the best possible way they can. So once they make their decision, once we've qualified them if they want to do this as a business, then we get them involved, and then we want to set them up on an auto ship right away. Now, our company does not make it mandatory that we do auto ships. Yes, you have to do a certain amount of personal volume every month to stay commission qualified if you're going to get paid overrides on your organization of customer gathers. However, since you're going to do this as a business, and I want to set you up for success in a success of a duplicatable pattern, immediately, once, doesn't matter what package they purchase, doesn't matter what time of the month that they buy that package, I'm going to say, okay, Dave, now that you're enrolled, we got your package, let's go ahead and set you up for at least next month for 2 bottles of Cell Defender. Now, the reason why I use Cell Defender in 2 bottles is, number one, that'll get them qualified next month on the 1st. Always set it up for the 1st of the month. And again, doesn't matter what time the month they bought their package of product. And I always do minimally 2 bottles of Cell Defender. Now, I tell people they can, change that, right? They can order whatever they want. But if they don't know what they want right away, then just set it up for the minimum. They can always go and edit it. They can change it. But we want to make sure we're setting them up for success, right? So that's the first 2 things we always do. And we qualify with that brand new person. Now, once you've got them onboarded and they're in the system, then now we want to teach them that they're going to replicate themselves in 30 days following this model. And so the model is very simple. It's 3 and yours is free. Okay. So we go out and find 3 like-minded people that want to do this as a business. And we're going to look for distributors who need and want to earn extra income and join the Avini Health mission. And we're going to settle for customers. I'm going to say that again. We're looking for people that want to do this as a business. And we're going to go out there to the marketplace with that intention. And then we're going to settle for customers. So as you go through, and this is the mechanical part of the process, remember the first goal of what we're trying to help you do, the brand new distributor, is get your money back, right? Now, I also like to point out is that I'm going to put a 30-day window of time on this process. Once again, our company took away a lot of the gotchas that a lot of compensation plans have out there. But I know human nature. If there's no timeline to do something, how long, Dave, does it take for someone to do something? They probably won't. They'll probably live up to your expectations, right? So if you have no expectations, they tend to live up to that. Now, again, we don't make you do it in 30 days. You don't have to do it in 30 days. I'm putting this artificial time frame on that I believe is doable for the majority of people to say, hey, we are going to go launch our business. And in the next 30 days, I and our upline team support system is going to help you get your money back and launch your business. So we're looking for people that want to make extra income, who want to join us in our Avini Health missions. And then the ones that say, I'm not interested in the business, we convert them into wholesale distributors. We convert them into retail customers, right? That's the byproduct. Now, once we've done this, guess what? If you join for $9.99 and you bring in Bob, Sue, and Tina for $9.99, you have all of your money back. Now, the next step is very simple. This is a 60-day process. So we're just, again, you can go out and roll 5, 10, 20 people. We're just saying this is the goal in 30. And then we're helping you get your money back. Now we want to help you get your products paid for. And in doing so, what we're going to do is we're going to help Bob, Sue, and Tina complete step 1. Very simple, right? And so they get their money back, and you now have enough volume going through your business to where you're now getting your products for free, because you would be a silver executive if everybody just got their 2 customers, or they signed up, they got their activation pack, and they signed up for at least 2 bottles of Cell Defender. That, again, more can happen. This is a perfect world scenario. I'm just showing you kind of a simple process of duplication and replication. And by the 90th day, we've helped Bob, Sue, and Tina get their money back. And now we're going to follow that through with the second group of people to get their money back. And so now you have, Dave, about 39 people in your team. And if everybody's just doing the minimum product volume, where they've got a customer or 2 and they're doing their minimal monthly order of $100 or more, you have enough volume going through your business that would make you a gold executive or somewhere up to sapphire executive, because we know they're going to spend more than just probably 2 bottles of Cell Defender, and that would pay you $6,000 to $12,000 per year. So that's the system. That's the mechanics of what we teach, and very simple, answering the questions. And this is done in 90 days. Well, Dave, what would happen if this took 6 months to happen? Well, that's still not a bad deal for the masses, right? Or even 12 months, because I can promise you, if you try to go to your employer, wherever you work right now, and say, hey, I think, Dave, I'm worth an extra $6,000 to $12,000 per year in the next 90 days, they're probably not going to give you that kind of pay raise. But with Avini Health and our system, you have that ability. And if you just replicate this if you want to get to, let's say, Ruby, some level of Ruby, guess what? We have just 3 teams. So we have a left team, a middle team, and a right team. We're volume based. And so underneath Bob, somewhere in depth and width, we just need to help 10 people get their money back. And underneath Sue, we just help 10 people get their money back and help on your right lead. So there would be enough volume flowing through your business that would produce a Ruby of $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 per year. And guess what? If you want to get to Emerald, help 25 people anywhere in depth. And by the way, these are not all the people you brought in. It's the ones they brought in, and the ones they brought in, and the ones they brought in. You just need to help somewhere in there, 10 or 25 people do this, and you promote automatically because of how we're structured as a company. If you want to get to diamond, help 50 people in each of your legs of business somewhere. Just complete step one, get their money back, and get on auto-ship, and you're well on your way to, and that just simplifies it. There's more to this, but that's really how simple it is. Help people answer those three questions, and you can be diamond in the next 6 to 12 months, with the assumption that everybody's just taking 30 days to get their money back and get them set up, and then we replicate. And of course, the neat part about our business model is that when you sign up a fourth one, a fifth team member, a sixth, a 10th or more, you have to place them below Bob, Sue, or Tina. So this is where the cooperative system comes in. And so everybody's helping everybody achieve the same thing. So that's the mechanics of what we're doing. But let's move into the how-to here. I like to start off with this, that the distance between your dreams and reality is called action. I can show you a system. It doesn't matter what the system is, but the reality is that you have to put it into action, because ideas are worth $20 and execution is worth millions. All right. So that's the bottom line. Avini Health would just be a really good idea 3 years ago had we launched the business, but it's only worth millions because they executed on a great idea. So here's the action steps we want to take in our 90-day business plan. And one thing before I go into that simple 3-step process about how do you fill in the blanks is understand that we're not selling. I think the misconception in our business is that, oh, I got to sell these products. No, you just have to share them because you care about other people. So when you talk to other people, always talk from what piqued your interest in Avini. Why did you enroll? Was it the products? Was the opportunity? Was it both? And always talk about, when you're talking to people, always talk about their interests, not yours. The acronym TINY. It's about what Avini can do for them, not what Avini can do for you when you're sharing with other people, right? Remember, we're listening to hot buttons that they might have and needs in their life, and we're going to show them how to get that with Avini Health, right? But again, your own personal story is, why are you here? Why did you enroll, right? This is where your, what I call your convincing passion comes from, that will cause prospects to listen to what you have to say. And remember, the two problems that Avini Health offers and solves for other people out there is optimal health and optimal finances. All right, so here's the real basics of what you need to do to launch and how to fill in the blanks. Number one, you need to know who you're going to talk to. All right, directory of dreamers. This is who I get to reach out to. Number one. And so you want to make a list. In small business, they call it cash is king. You could have the best product in the world, but if you run out of money getting it to market, you run out of business. In our business, it's your list of contacts, your network of people that you're like, you know what, I need to talk to this person. They're in your phone. They're on Facebook. All your friends are networked. There are new people you meet when you walk and go out and do life. My wife, who works out at the gym, she probably makes 2 or 3 new contacts every week that are interested in learning about our products, right? So you're always adding to this list. And I know, Dave, who you've been doing this for years, I'm pretty sure you always are adding new people to your list. I would imagine that you always have this funnel of new people that you can share with about Avini, but you got to start. So if you don't have a list, you don't have a business, number one. So you got to set the list. These are not people you have to contact. These are people you get to reach out to. That's why we call it your directory of dreamers, as MJ teaches, right? So number one, you got to know who you're going to talk to. Number two, remember that when I start talking to these people, my whole objective as a brand new distributor is not to educate them. My whole goal is to pique their interest, right? That's my whole goal. And I think this is where a lot of people make a mistake, where we want to tell our new person everything about Avini and all about the products. And we're so excited and we kind of just data dump on people, right? Remember, your job is to pique interest. I also like to say this: you are always training your new distributor. When people look at you and they look at the process that you're doing, if they look at you and say, I can't do what Paul's doing, but Paul's going to be great at it, right? Then that's not a replicatable, duplicatable system. So if we teach a process that, okay, we take a brand new person who doesn't know a lot about Avini, but we want to launch them in 30 days to help them go find their three new distributors who want to do this as a business and get them launched. We don't have time for them to get fully educated on all the products and the comp plan and everything that's going on. We want to launch them quickly because this business loves speed. It loves the speed at which you do something, and it will reward you greatly the faster you do this process. So remember, your job is to pique interest. The first way to pique interest is to download our mobile app. We provide that as a free tool, which most companies charge a couple $100 a year to have access to a tool like that. So go to your Play Store, get the Avini app where you can start sharing videos, right? You can start piquing people's interest. Now, here's a couple scripts that, and again, you can write your own scripts, but here's just a couple that may allow you to pique someone's interest. You could private message these to people. You could text them to somebody, but here's a couple. Hey, Mary, I just got involved with a company that is addressing a major health crisis you may or may not be aware of. And I'd like to send you a short 5-minute video to watch and get your feedback or thoughts. Okay, very simple, straightforward. That's, of course, we're going to tell you what video to send here, but basically you're just getting permission. You're telling Mary what you want to do, and then you're getting her saying, yes, please send me that video, right? We're looking, because I find that unsolicited advice is seldom taken. So I'm looking for their permission. Here's a second one. Hey, Mary, hope you are well. I've always had a great amount of respect for you and your business sense. You've always had the ability to turn things into gold, some kind of genuine compliment. I've just learned about a group of medical and business professionals that have their hands on what experts are calling the biggest breakthrough in medicine healthcare in decades. They have the exclusive worldwide rights to this information, and I believe there is a fortune to be made here. Mary, would you have any interest in hearing about what we are doing? Okay, so there's another one. Again, something you could text. Obviously, you could call, if you know that script and you personalized it, you could call somebody up and use that script with them. But the whole idea is we're just looking to pique their interest. And then when they say, yes, I'm interested, yes, please send me some information, then we're going to, of course, use your story in this whole conversation, but we're going to send them. And again, you may have a different video to send. It doesn't, remember, systems don't really matter as long as you are consistent with it. I prefer the video, Your Journey to Better Health, that 4.5-minute video that introduces people to the health crisis, that $4.8 trillion healthcare cost. It's called toxicity in our world. I like to share, just open up conversation with that to get people to say, wow, I didn't realize that was a major problem. Or, man, Paul, I get that. Man, what's your solution, right? Because that's all that video does, is it causes people to say, come back to you, or when you follow up to say, what is your solution? Once I've piqued their interest, I could send them right to the 17-minute. Hey, so glad you asked, Dave, about that. What I want to do is I want to send you a 17-minute video that's done by our biochemist, because he really does a way better job explaining our products and our solutions than I could ever do. And Dave, particularly pay attention to the first 5 minutes, because that first 5 minutes, he talks about our flagship product that's directly impacting that toxicity issue in our environment that's changing lives. Now, I may go, depending on the person, depending on their interest, I may skip over that, or I may send it. Either way, doesn't really matter. But the ultimate goal here is, once I have Dave's or Mary's, I pique their interest, they want to know more, and I send them a little video or a couple of videos, is I want to get them on a 3-way call. This is one of the most effective ways in our modern world to take a brand new person that's a new distributor that doesn't have a lot of knowledge. So we can teach them the basics of, okay, make your list, and here's how you pique interest, and then become a master. You can now segue them onto a 3-way call. And again, there's none better at it than Dave Johnson. He would probably tell you, this has been one of the most effective ways he builds. And here's the neat part is, you, again, don't need to be the expert. You're just going to connect people that are the experts. I recommend you have at least 3 people, and they don't have to be a diamond. They could be an emerald or a ruby or somebody just ahead of you that has a great story, that has some success. And my job is to then take and pique someone's interest and then be the conduit to get them on a call with Dave Johnson, right? Or with Marcy and Chip, or with Robin, or with whoever that could be that third party. Because have you ever heard the saying, a prophet's not recognized in their own town? So if this is one of my family members that I'm doing this with, or a best friend, they know me. They know I'm not a health nutritional person, or I don't have any credentials, right? So if I'm trying to say, hey, I have a product, a solution that can change your life, and here's what it does, and I try to be the expert, they're like, oh, Paul, what are you talking? I don't know you. I mean, I know you don't know anything about that, right? And they poo-poo it. But if I can pique their interest and then get them to somebody that can tell a compelling story of how this product changed their life, if I can get them to that person that could answer their questions, who's ahead of me in success, and then I just kind of sit back and let Dave or whoever I'm doing a three-way with do the presentation. I just have to be really good at introducing people to this three-way call. And I'm just telling you that I find a lot of people that will say, man, I'm just not having any success. And I was talking with the distributor this past week on the other side of the state. I was over there, and he has an amazing testimony about our products, but he can't get anybody to sign up. And I've told him over and over again the past year or two, because he'd ask me, what do I need to do? I said, you got to pique their interest with your story and then get them on the phone with me. And he's gotten 0 people on the phone with me this past year or two. So when I went over there again, we talked. He goes, I just not having any success. And I said, well, how many people have you gotten, that you've piqued their interest that you could have gotten the phone with me, but you didn't? And I said, I can promise you that if you were to get 2 people a day with me, or 5 people a week with me on a phone call because you piqued their interest, we're going to have a lot greater success in your business and getting people to join and at least buy the product, if not join the business. And so he promised me he would do that, right? But I'm just telling you, a lot of people try to do it on their own. But man, you're in business with people that can help you, want to help you, they're incentivized to help you. And of course, you could take them to a Zoom meeting if there was a presentation don't wait a week, by the way, to get someone to a presentation. Get them on a three-way call that same day, next day, right? Strike while the iron's hot, and then get them on a Zoom later. But if the Zoom meeting happened to be tomorrow night, hey, maybe I'm going to invite them there to introduce them as well. But just don't wait to build your business. It could be a home meeting. It could be different ways to get people exposed. But you notice the difference. Section 2 there, step 2 is all about piquing interest. All right, so that's the process. Now, and as I said, the most important thing is tapping your upline leaders to help you do the presenting after you've piqued their interest. Here's the deal. The process is simple. It's the consistency, which is the challenge. I'm going to say that again. The process is simple. It's your consistency that you'll rise and fall to. So if you're doing this process once a month and somebody else is doing it 10 times a month and somebody else is doing it 100 times a month, that steps 1, 2, and 3, they're going to have more success because they're just more consistent at it and they're doing it on a regular basis. And this is really it. Repeat and duplicate. The only thing you can control is not whether someone joins you or not, but you can control how many people you take through steps 1, 2, and 3 that we just went through. That is something you can control. And it's something that if you just duplicate it and track your results, like how many people did you take through steps 2 and 3 on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, you can actually determine how much success you're going to have. For instance, if I take 10 people through that process and I get 1 customer and I get 1 distributor, and then I take another 10 people through that same process and I get 1 distributor and 1 customer, and I take it, right? I know that if I take 10 people through the process, I'm going to get a customer and I'm going to get a distributor. Well, guess what? That becomes predictable in your business and you can track that. But remember, you can't control their decision. At the end of the day, we're looking for a yes, a no, not now, next, right? It's just, you're just going through and you're sorting you're just through your contacts. And the quicker and faster you take people through the simple process, of piquing interest and getting them on a three-way call and exposing them to the presentation and just replicating that, you will have greater and greater success in your business. Now, a few of the things that once they're onboarded that they should know, and you should really help your new distributor understand what to do is, how to set up their auto ship. You're going to do that right away with them, how to enroll a customer distributor, and how to place somebody. Those are really the only real things that they need to understand, besides how to pique someone's interest and what tools they're going to use and this simple process and helping them make their list. But that's it. Remember, we want to launch them quickly. We want to put them on a 30-day path to success of replication. I love this last slide. One of the last slides here is, this is the difference between motivation visually and what discipline looks like. So motivation, right? I can be really pumped up and come back from a conference or some amazing training, and I'm just all excited. And then day after day, week after week, and I'm getting the no's and I'm getting rejected. That motivation can wear off, right? And so they say motivation is taking a shower day. We should probably do it at least once a week so we can, whether we need it or not. But discipline, right? Discipline is going to the gym every day, lifting weights, and being consistent for results. Discipline is just that consistent every day. I'm going to expose one or two people and take them through this process. Whatever fits into your schedule. Might be 5 people a week, might be 5 people in a month, right? Whatever. But you're disciplined and you're consistently doing that process. And if you do this process over and over and over and over and over again, I don't care who you are. I don't care what background you come from, what successes or failures you've had in your life, you will have success. Now, can I promise you lifestyle changed income? No, but I can promise you'll have success. And this is really the main thing that we're after. Remember, it's real simple. Teach people how to get their money back. Teach people how to get their products paid for. Show people how they can make that extra $500 to $1,000 per month. And John Maxwell says this: motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. Okay, motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. So here's the end of what I teach is, we are looking for people who want more money, more time, better health, more money, better health, and more free time. If you're looking for those people, have you I've never had anyone, and I don't think you'd find them, say, hey, Paul, I want less money. I want worse health, and don't want more free time. I'm pretty sure that everybody you talk to, if they're honest, that's about everyone, right? It includes everyone. So the world is your oyster. And I'll wrap up with this last thought. If there was a dump truck load of oysters, and in that dump truck load of oysters, we're talking thousands of oysters, or tens of thousands, there was 5 oysters that had a pearl that was worth $1 million each, right? So there's 5 pearls in that tens of thousands of oysters in this dump truck load, and each of those pearls would be worth $1 million. If I backed that up into your backyard and dumped it on your lawn, and you knew that in that pile of pearls of oysters, there was a pearls worth $1 million, at what point would you stop cracking open oysters? Would you stop at 5 or 10 or 20? And maybe the first 5, 10, 20 oysters that you opened up, or first 100, had no pearls in it. But you knew that there was 5 in this pile of thousands that, hey, there's a pearl, in fact, 5 pearls worth $1 million. I'm pretty sure if you were guaranteed that they were in there, we would not stop opening up those oysters until we got all 5 pearls. That's this business, everybody. I'd love to say that the first 10 people that you talk to in this business are going to enroll, that they're going to want to be your, but I can't, and some people, frankly, some people do get their first 10. Some people have to go through 10, 20, 30, or 40 people before they find one, right, that they want to be a distributor. But I know this: if you don't quit, if you don't give up on what your goals and dreams are, and you plug into a system, you can succeed. So Dave, that's what I got for you today. So any last parting thoughts or questions?
Oh, this is fabulous, Paul. You've got me signed up all over again. The thing I would add to that is just you, your heart, your belief, your love for other people, and put this to the mechanics. Like you mentioned, the mechanics is pretty simple. The next thing is just the gumption to do it. But when you really love people and believe in this and want to help them, and they feel that. And so it really is a communication of belief. And I love what Larry Prophet always talks about, that leadership is the enthusiastic communication of your vision. And so this is it. Boy, you're at the right place, right time. And I guess one other thought it's always heard, the statistics, what are they? And somebody might say, well, how long does it take the average person to go diamond? And of course, the answer is the average person will never go diamond. So don't be average, be exceptional. But with this plan and everything, you don't need to be average. You don't need to be ordinary. Here's an opportunity to be extraordinary, doing ordinary things extraordinarily well.
Awesome. Yep. It really is about the heart. And just to kind of recap my beginning of my testimony, Dave, that's really was we were so captivated. I was so captivated by a product that could change lives. I've still not lost that. And I know you haven't either. I mean, that heart for other people to want to bring something that can change their life. But then when you add it to the fact that there's this amazing business opportunity, what better way in life to help your mankind with a product that in this day and hour, they need this product. They need our products that can help their bodies function at optimum and prolong their life. And at the same time, we get paid to do it. There's a lot of jobs out there I've done for jobs because you had to do jobs. But when you get up every morning, Dave, and you get to say, wow, man, what a blessing it is to be able to get up and make phone calls and talk to people and then get testimonials back, and both on how financially the company this is blessing them or physically. There's nothing greater this side of heaven. I'm excited, Dave. I think, Dave, we should do this.
I think we should. And why not just go all the way? If you've ever thought, gee, I wonder how good I am, I wonder how fast I could run. If I just really ran as fast as I could, how fast is that? When was the last time you tried something like that? And I think so often what we do is we hold back because we just know inside us that there's hidden reserves, there's capacities that we have that just the incitements of that day, it's been said, it just doesn't call forth enthusiasm and vigor that we have inside us. So we're just kind of wandering around. But here's something where you could really find this is worthy of your all. This is worthy of just going all out. See what that can be. It's just amazing, and it's fun to really be in your A game, knowing that this is worthy of that. And then the other thing, I've been thinking about this all the time. I share this with most people, having purpose with your work. So much of our work, it's approximately a third of our lifetime. And so it ought to be something that we love to do. And so 8 years of my life, it was commercial lighting. Income wise, it was excellent. And it wasn't a bad thing, but in all of those 8 years, I never had anyone come up in tears and hug me and say, thank you for these light bulbs. It's changed everything about my life. And I think, wow, lighting. Well, the wonderful thing about it is everybody needs it. And so my business was really just if they like me and I've got lights and they need it anyway, maybe they'll buy it from me. That was the overall strategy. And of course, helping people with their problems and solving them. But I think with this, and nobody knows about this. It's a lot more interesting story than, hey, have you ever heard of electric lighting? It's a real breakthrough. I think it'll change your business. Well, everybody's heard of that. What we have, nobody's heard of this. And you have just such a huge advantage. And then making the difference, what we refer to often as a spiritual income, an emotional paycheck that we get with this is just wonderful, far beyond the income. Just Oh, this is amazing. This is the best job I've ever had. I love it.
Yeah. Amen. Well, good stuff, Dave. Well, thanks for having me on today. I appreciate the opportunity. And hopefully this helps some people out there just get refocused on it. Just a simple process. And just don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Analysis paralysis, as we like to say. Don't overanalyze this. It really is this simple. And then just perfect the system, whatever that system is. and just replicate it and duplicate it over and over and over again until you get the results you're looking for. So
Yeah, this is going to be one it'll be worth watching again and again, taking notes and sharing it with other people. So thank you for adding this to our Avini toolbox.
awesome. Have a great weekend, everybody. And let's continue the mission and the calling of what we're all here to do. And that's just help our neighbor and live better lives, both physically and financially.
Let's go for it.